Every time you say should, you're not speaking the truth. You're repeating someone else's. Should is the language of external expectations. It's what you think you're supposed to do based on what you've been told, what you've seen, or what you think other people expect from you. Welcome to What If It All Goes Right, the show for high achievers who are ready to stop fearing the worst and start stepping into their power. I'm your host, Angela Gargano, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, keynote speaker, peak performance coach, and former biochemist. Every episode, I'm going to give you the mindset shifts and practical tools to shake off the doubt, reignite your energy, and remember just how powerful you really are. Because it's time to stop fearing the worst and start asking, what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right? Hey there, everyone. It's Angela Gargano, and of course, my pepper girl, and welcome back to What If It All Goes Right. Let's talk about a word that quietly runs so many people's lives. Da-da-da. Should. I should work out more. I should be further along by now. I should have my life together. I should be doing what she's doing. Does that sound familiar to anyone listening right now? And here's the thing about should. It's not your voice. It's everyone else's. It's your parents' expectations. It's society's timeline. It's Instagram's highlight reel. It's your old coach's rules, all wrapped up into one toxic little word that makes you feel like you are falling or failing even when you're not. And in today's episode, we're breaking down the language of should, where it comes from, and why it keeps you stuck, and how to replace it with something way more powerful: choice. Because when you stop shoulding all over yourself, I said it, you finally get to build a life that's actually yours. But before we jump in, if you've been enjoying the What If It All Goes Right podcast, make sure you follow on Apple or Spotify so you never miss an episode. And if you could leave a rating and review, please, it would mean so much to the world, to me and Pepper. And doing so helps this show reach more people who need these conversations. All right, let's start talking about should. You see what I'm saying? Let's talk about should, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Pepper's like, you're crazy. You're crazy. So let's start here. Every time you say should, you're not speaking the truth. You're repeating someone else's. Should is the language of external expectations. It's what you think you're supposed to do based on what you've been told, what you've seen, or what you think other people expect from you. And here are some examples of should in action. I should love my job, even though maybe you hate it. I should be married by now, even though you're not ready. I should want kids, even though maybe you don't. I should be able to handle this, even though maybe you're drowning right now. Every single one of those sentences is code for this is what I think I'm supposed to want. But it's not what I actually want. And that disconnect, that's what makes you feel stuck. That's what makes you feel anxious. And like you are constantly failing at life. Now, here's where should actually comes from. Number one, Parental expectations. Your parents had a vision for your life. And even if they never said it out loud, you absorbed it. I'm sure they had the best intentions in mind. An example of this is something like, be successful, get married, stay safe, don't take risks. And while they were trying to protect you, years later now, you're still making choices based on what they wanted for you, not on what you wanted for yourself. Number 2, social conditioning. Society has a script. You graduate, you get the job, you buy the house, you have the kids, you retire. And if you deviate from that script or hit it on a different timeline, you feel like you're behind. But whose timeline is that? Maybe it's not yours. Number 3, comparison culture. You see someone thriving on Instagram, and suddenly you think, I should be doing that too. But their path isn't yours. Their priorities aren't yours. And trying to copy them in their life is a guaranteed way to lose yourself. And 4, the old versions of yourself. Sometimes should comes from who you used to be. I should still be training like I did in my 20s. I should still want what I wanted 5 years ago. But you've changed. We evolve. And that's not failure. That is the evolution. That is the evolution. Now, let's talk about what happens when you build your life around this whole should. And spoiler alert, it kind of costs you everything. And here's what living in should looks like. 1, you feel like you're always failing. Because when you measure your life against a standard you didn't even choose, you will always feel behind. You'll look at your career and think, I should be further along. You'll look at your body and think, I should be leaner. You'll look at your relationships and think, I should be happier. But it's not that you're failing. You're just chasing the wrong finish line. Someone else's finish line. I mean, before I stepped into doing all this stuff online, I was a biological chemist. And for a long time, I did that because I thought that's what I should be doing. Until I finally took the leap and went for the things that I knew in my heart. And you can do that too. 2, you lose touch with what you actually want. When you spend years following the whole should word, you stop knowing what you want. Someone asks, what do you want to do this weekend? And you freeze because you've been so busy doing what you're supposed to do that you forgot what you actually enjoy. And that's not living. That's performing. 3, you start to build resentment. When you say yes to things you don't want because you should, you build resentment. And resentment towards your job, towards your partner, towards your friends, or even yourself. And that resentment, it poisons everything. Number 4, you stay stuck in someone else's life. This is the big one. When you live in should, you're not living your life. You're living the life other people think you should have. And I like to say in my keynotes all the time, if you're not living your life by design, you are living your life by default. And then one day you wake up and you realize you've been playing a role in someone else's story instead of writing your own, realizing that you have a choice. The cost of should is your freedom. It's your joy. It's your sense of self. And that's too high of a price to pay. So now that we're like, oh my goodness, maybe you're a little fired up and you're thinking, oh man, I'm definitely doing some of this. I know I am. I know I have. How do you know when you're operating from should instead of from what you actually want? There's a couple signs you can look for. The first one is it feels heavy and not exciting. So when you think about doing the thing, does it feel energizing or does it feel draining? Should always feels like an obligation, whereas want feels like a possibility. It feels heavy. And if it feels heavy, it's probably a should. 2, you can't explain why you want it. Ask yourself, why do I want this? Why do I want this thing? If your answer is because I'm supposed to do it or because everyone else is doing it, that's probably a should. If your answer is because it aligns with who I want to become or because it lights me up, that's what I want. That's what you should go towards. 3, maybe you're doing it to avoid judgment. Are you doing this because you want to or because you're afraid of what people will think if you don't? If it's the latter, you're living it in should. Number 4, you feel resentment when you do it. I know we've all had these moments, right? If you do the thing and feel resentful after it, that's your body telling you it is not aligned. And listen to that. Now, here's an exercise to identify your shoulds. Take out a piece of paper, pause this if you need to, and I want you to write down everything you think you should be doing right now. Then for each item, ask yourself, is this actually what I want? Or is this what I think I'm supposed to want? And write this down as if no one would judge you. No one would judge you. And if nobody would judge you, would you still do it? Ask yourself, does this move me closer to the life I want or further from it? But what's so great about a piece of paper is it's an unbiased place and you can be brutally honest. This exercise will show you exactly where you're living your life in should instead of by choice. Is anyone else fired up? If you take that piece of paper out and you start writing these down, I want to know what they are. You better message me and tell me. Because I know I've done this so many times in my life. Now, let's talk about the shift. So replacing the should with you choose to do this or you actually want to do this. And this isn't just a language shift. It's a power shift. When you say should, you're putting yourself in a passive position. You are implying that you have no other choice. But when you say choose or I want, you are taking ownership. You're stepping into your power. And here's how you could actually make this shift. The first step is replacing I should with I choose. So instead of I should go to the gym, try I choose to go to the gym because I want to feel strong or because I want to get my first pull-up. You see the difference there? Because one feels like an obligation, which is not that fun, right? It's never, obligations aren't fun. The other feels like agency. And even if you don't feel it at first, that language is going to start to rewire your brain over time. It's really important to be aware of how you're speaking and what you're saying. Step 2, replace I should with I want. So instead of I should call my mom, try I want to call my mom because I miss her. Or if you don't want to, I don't want to call my mom right now, but I will because it's important for me to stay connected to her. That honesty creates clarity and clarity creates freedom. You feel that shift? just from a shift in the language. Step 3, if you can't say I choose or I want, ask yourself why, right? If you can't reframe this should into I choose or I want, that is a red flag. Red flag. It means you're doing something you don't actually want to do. And it's time to ask yourself, do I need to do this? Or am I just doing it because I think I should? Now, sometimes the answer is yes, I need to do this even though I don't want to. Taxes? Anyone? But often the answer is no, I'm doing this out of guilt or fear. And I need to stop. Start to get honest with yourself. Ask yourself these questions. Step 4, give yourself permission to let go of shoulds that don't serve you. So this is definitely the hardest part, right? It's letting go of the shoulds you've been carrying for years. And maybe you've always thought that you should get a PhD because your parents wanted you to. I was in that boat for a while after biochemistry. I just thought, oh, you work in the lab, and then I guess I should become a doctor and get a PhD. Maybe you've always thought you should stay in your hometown because that's where your family is. Maybe you've always thought you should have kids because that's what everyone else expects of you. But here's the truth. You're allowed to want something different. You're allowed. It's okay. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to disappoint people if that means honoring yourself and coming back to yourself. Doesn't mean it's easy, but you're allowed. And letting go of should doesn't make you selfish. It makes you honest. It makes you honest. All right, so what does it look like then to build a life based on what you actually want? What you actually want. Not what you think you should want. And just know it might take a little time to really reflect and understand what you actually want again. But here's the framework, right? Exercise number 1. You need to get really clear on your values, right? What matters most to you? Not what should matter. What actually matters? Is it freedom? Is it connection? Is it creativity? Is it impact, adventure, stability? What actually matters to you? Your values are your compass. When you know what they are, decision-making becomes so much easier. Give yourself some space to understand this too. Go for a walk outside. Take your time. What are my values? Or every time that something comes up, you're like, oh, that I value that. Like for me, I value time is important to me. Like you better not be late. No one can be late for me. Exercise 2, define success on your own terms. What does success look like for you? Not your parents, not society, not Instagram, but you. Write it down. Get specific. And then start building towards that, not towards someone else's version. Sometimes that's hard because it's weird because the people around you are doing different things and you're like, oh, I don't really want to do it like that. And exercise 3, make choices that align with your values and not your fear. Because every time you make a decision, ask yourself, is this aligned with my values or am I just doing this because I'm afraid of what people will think? Choose alignment over other people's approval every single time. Exercise 4, give yourself permission to evolve. We evolve. Your definition of success will change. Your values will shift. The life you want at 25 might not be the same as the life that you want at 35. That's a decade of lived experience and things that has happened. And that's okay. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to change and redefine what matters to you. Exercise 5, stop apologizing for wanting something different. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone an explanation for the life that you choose to live. Someone told me that the other day. They're like, just so you know, you don't owe anybody anything. I'm like, oh, you're right. If people don't understand your choice, that is literally totally fine. They literally do not have to. It's not their life. It's your life. Your job is not to make everyone comfortable with your decisions. Your job is to live a life that feels true to you. Now, if you're listening to this being like, whoa, she is just on one today. You're right. I feel like I am on one. But I want to take a moment to recap all of this because it's important. And I want you to live the most epic year this year. Should is not your voice. It's the echo of everyone else's expectations, and it's keeping you stuck. When you replace should with choose or want, you take back your power. You stop living on autopilot and you start living with intention. You're allowed to want something different. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to build a life that looks nothing like what you thought it would look like. And be proud of it. So this week, what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to your language. Every time you catch yourself saying should, pause and ask, is this what I actually want? Or is this what I think I'm supposed to want? And then make a choice that's aligned with the life you're trying to build, not what the life other people think you should have. And you have chills right now? Are you ready? If this episode resonates with you, please share it with someone who's been living in a should for way too long. And don't forget to follow What If It All Goes Right on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a quick rating or review. And until next time, remember, stop shoulding all over yourself and start choosing yourself. I'm curious to how many people are going to listen to this and be like, is she saying shoulding or what is she saying? We'll have a good pun, you know?